You are now listening to the Salty Virgins Podcast. Welcome to the Salty Virgins Club Podcast. I'm joined here by a full Zoom cast. Kevin, we have Patrick, we have Jackson. All just bored, I guess. There's really nothing going on at all.
Yeah. No, nothing. Life is just the same now. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is.
For the most part, yeah, it just is. I spent all day yesterday playing Call of Duty and stuff.
You're on a break from school right now? No, you said your last exam was today or tomorrow?
Thursday.
Okay. So you're wrapping it up, and then do you work or no? There's no summer classes because it's designed for you guys to work summers, right? So then you're just kind of
and can't even work this summer because you can't work. Everything's great.
You're just gonna get really good at Call of Duty.
I'm gonna be just a menace at Call of Duty. I'm already getting better.
I still have yet to play Warzone,
and it's been.
We're gonna play tonight.
Probably not.
Yeah, I have to do numbers first.
So many numbers.
I have to replan a wedding.
Yes. Pat made tostones for lunch today.
What'd you use to smash them?
Just the underside of a plate.
Okay, yeah. I've done mug, bowl, plate. It's all the same.
Yes. It all mashes the same.
Whatever sauce you mentioned would be good on it.
Oh, pink sauce.
Yeah, I did not make it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Someone just asked me to... I just got asked to hop on a phone call from work.
Bitch, it's 5:30. You gotta tell them no you're making dinner.
No, I'm recording my podcast. I'm live on Twitch. Hop in the chat.
Hop on Twitch. We'll do this call with proprietary information.
We'll do it live.
Right here.
Live. All right, yeah. Tell them to do that.
Jackson, have you been cooking anything special?
I tried to make chicken parm a couple days ago for the second time. Did not go nearly as well as the first time.
Tell me what happened.
I went to Publix, and because of the rumors of a meat shortage, they were all out of the good chicken. So I said, fuck it, I'll use chicken cutlet.
That's what you're supposed to use.
No, you're supposed to use like chicken breast or chicken thigh. That shit was garbage.
No, you can use a chicken cutlet. Because
nope,
if you use a cutlet, you don't have to mash it and beat it to death. You could
the texture's just fucked though. It was so slimy and gross. It did not feel like eating real chicken. It felt like eating chicken substitute.
That just feels like you got bad chicken.
Maybe.
Also probably true.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the cut of chicken.
I didn't blow it up or vomit, so I think we're good on that end. But then Casey and I made focaccia. Well, mostly Casey made focaccia bread last night.
How's your sourdough starter coming along?
Who's?
You.
No, I'm not making. We don't have anything to make a sourdough loaf in. We have a baking pan, which is why we made focaccia bread, because all you need is a pan.
Yes, I understand how focaccia.
Did you guys see the op-ed in the New York Times by some lady literally named Karen saying that people need to stop baking bread because they're taking the food out of the mouths of families that want to know where all their food is coming from, so they make all their own shit? A legitimate op-ed article telling people they need to stop baking bread to post pictures because you're taking food out of the mouths of my children. It's a real article.
Bro, I will buy yeast and piss on it in front of you.
Yeah.
So her argument is that because she's farm to table, or lack of a better term, I'm hurting her by buying yeast and water.
She's hurting herself by being an asshole, is what she's doing.
Yeah, I hope bad things happen to her and her farm to table kids. Because, you can't, we're fucking bored, bro.
I spent 3 weeks looking for yeast. I'm going to make all the fucking bread I want.
We're bored. with a capital B. Like, if we
I can
want
only
to...
beat off so many times.
That's just not true. It's just not true.
Don't limit yourself, Jack.
You can do anything you put your
I absolutely
mind
need
and
to limit
hand to.
myself, otherwise, just might fall right off.
He will jerk his... Yeah, he's gonna jerk his whole dick off.
And then what will you do with your days?
Work?
Play Call of Duty.
Not a chance.
Not a chance in hell.
Do you just have work? Do you have any work to do anymore, Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, because all our contracts are like software development related. Like, we're still able to give work to the government, and it works out. So they still pay
You're not
us.
paying for it. Oh, wow.
In fact, I don't think we've ever had more money than we did like this past week.
Oh, look at that.
Expenses are down, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You guys aren't buying 40 pizzas for 20 people eating lunch.
Everyone gets 2 pizzas.
They literally
Imagine
could
going
not
to
even
work.
hand out all those pizzas. They had to throw away whole ass pizzas.
Imagine going to work and they're like, you get 2 pizzas today, and you're just like, sick. That's Patrick's dream.
Oh my god. I'd still cook it on a toaster oven sideways.
On a toaster. Just a regular
Yeah,
toaster.
when the world was not over and I was still going to the office, sometimes they do lunch on Wednesdays, and they always order more, and there's like leftovers in the fridge. But for some reason, people at that office just like don't eat the leftovers. So our office admin would literally say like, please, like either eat this or take this home. Like, I don't want to waste this food. And the first day I was like, okay, I'll take like one little plate for myself. And I slowly progressed to like, every time we got food, they come in these big ass fucking containers, like the big like catering containers. I would grab one of those and just throw as much shit as I could into it, like line it up, and it would be in the fridge. So then for the next 4 days when I worked from home, that was my lunch. Because like everyone's like, no, I'm not gonna bring that home. And some of these people have kids, like they can definitely bring this shit home and they'll eat it, but for some reason they just won't do it. So I was livid.
But us buying yeast, taking food out of people's mouths. Anyway.
I'll continue to do it.
Are you guys all have all of you guys watched The Last Dance? I know I was.
No.
Oh,
No,
Have you
I
watched
have.
that?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
It's gonna make it hard.
You guys need to fucking watch it.
It's gonna make it hard to talk about it on the podcast.
Binge it for 8 hours like Friday, and then finish it up in.
Watch it just fucking shit the bed like Game of Thrones, and
Oh
Jackson
my God.
fall into this trap again.
Listen, at least this is just 10 hours. It's not like
45.
8 seasons, 70 hours.
Yeah. No, it's very good, Kevin. I've been telling you. Nobody was listening.
I mean, I was listening. I just hadn't watched. But then I watched a bunch. I wanted to watch it live. I ended up getting caught in Melbourne for a little bit too long, so I wasn't able to make it back up in time. But I still watched. I still watched both of them. One last night, one tonight. And I think Gary Payton has to just kill himself.
Yeah. Michael Jordan really laughed in his fucking face digitally. I do have to say, through all of this, like all of The Last Dance, like, we didn't get Michael Jordan. Like, we just didn't get that.
Yeah.
We got LeBron, which is great. But, like, seeing this, like, there's an appreciation for Michael Jordan that I did not have before that I have now, where, like, even Magic's like, no, that was that fucking dude.
Yeah, I think, and that was one of the reasons that I was excited for it, because I'm it's the same way as like you grow up knowing MJ was like fucking sick, like obviously, but not like experiencing it. And that's the thing, is like growing up through like LeBron is like, that's just what it is, like day in day out. You see just everything happen, so it's cool to have the original footage and literally like at the time footage and interviews and shit like that, where people are just like, no, like that's just how it is. Like he was just like, he only scored 30. Good defense. Like, you know.
Yeah. While I was watching it, I think it was episode 3 and 4 or something, where they were talking about how he scored all these points like every time he wanted to. I was looking at like his career stats. So like every year from 85 till 98 that he played, he was the scoring champion. He was all first team all defense, and he won like defensive player of the year.
Well, it's like the 4 years he was with Doug Collins, so they didn't win any championships. But it was like LeBron in the East, just like finals every year essentially.
Yeah.
I think Doug Collins said in that 4 year time he was All NBA first team. He was like a 4-time All-Star. He was the All-Star Game MVP. He was the scoring champion. He was the MVP. He was the Defensive Player of the Year, and he was like all defense first. It was like in 4 years, it was just like he just won everything that you can win as an NBA player multiple times or so.
Yeah. Like, straight. And everybody was just like, oh, he's like 24. Like, okay.
Good.
It's one of those things I just didn't have an appreciation for. And then, like, watching him really give these dudes just absolute buckets. Like, they had nothing for him. Like, is insane.
Also, one thing, the thing that I was most interested about last, they talked about his baseball, like his stint going into baseball, and like we all, as a collective unit on the internet, like clown on Jordan for his like leaving the NBA, going to play baseball, and like quote unquote failing. But also, I saw like a tweet that put it in perfectly. It was like he didn't play baseball for 14 years, and then he jumped into Double-A ball, which is not a joke by any stretch of the imagination. No. And he hit 200. Put one like Jackson. Put you in Double-A ball right now.
Jackson's getting obliterated.
001.
And it was like he had that hitting streak to start, and they're like, yeah. Then he started throwing him curveballs, and he started missing more. It's like, yeah, because that shit's hard. That shit moves. Curveballs are scary.
And then he figured it out before the end of the season.
And I didn't realize he came back in part because of the lockout.
Yeah, because of the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't have shit else to do.
Well, the MLB was like, oh, like we're gonna start the season just with not
scabs.
Yeah, just like with not professional baseball players. And they're like, Mike, you want to come play? It's like, fuck no, are you kidding me?
It's like, I'm going to go back to being the best basketball player of all time. I mean,
while Jordan was also, like, he was like a big union guy, was a player rep, so.
Yeah, no, like, Jordan fought for the players. He
also fought the player.
He fought for his right to beat the fucking shit out of them.
He punched Steve Kerr right in his face.
Okay.
The littlest guy on the team.
Just punched him right in the fucking face.
Also, Jordan's house is sick. I know he's a billionaire, so that's just like... But every time they cut to him, it's just like half of his house is windows, and it's just like overlooking... I'm guessing the beach. It looks like the beach. And
he lives in Vegas.
I thought he was...
Of course he lives in Vegas.
Oh, okay, so I guess it's...
No,
They have trees like Florida. It's hot there.
Yes, they do have... They do
I didn't know he lived in
things.
Vegas, but that makes a lot of sense.
I'm fairly certain he lives in Vegas. Which, he has a competitive problem. But yes, Michael Jordan, very interesting character. A lot of multitudes to him as a man.
Confirmed asshole.
Haven't mentioned his kids once. Not once have they mentioned his kids.
Yeah, they've like done like awkward camera shots, like old clips. So like, oh yeah, his kids were holding up a sign on Father's Day. That nothing else.
Okay, no. Michael Jordan currently lives in Jupiter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he does?
On a golf course.
That also makes sense.
He probably has a massive house in Vegas. I'm sure.
That wouldn't.
Yeah, this article says he has several houses, and according to property listings, he paid $5 million for the land on the house, and then $8 million for the actual house. So
13?
Light work.
Yeah.
For him, yeah. When you own an NBA team.
And when you don't care about that NBA team while you own it.
Has he made money off the Charlotte Bobcats?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
How long has he owned them?
Over like 12 years.
Well, it matters because if he owned them for like the last 5 years, he's probably made marginal amounts of money. But NBA teams just over time, the league is just like fucking blown.
Yeah, no, he owned them. Yeah, okay, so he bought them in 2010 before they went to the explosive growth in like the mid 2010s that would have got him billions of dollars.
Yeah. So he's chilling.
He's doing all right.
Yeah, to say the least.
He put in like hundreds of millions of dollars and made like a 500% return on investment.
So, why? I like in the topics document we just have a bullet point that says "white people big racist," And like,
Name a thing this week.
But what specifically are we alluding to?
Well, at the time, it wasn't.
Are we referring to the people who lynched a black man in Georgia?
Well, at the time, I wasn't. But then that happened, so then it was also bad. I can't even remember what it was because I wrote that like 8 days ago or something. I think it was something about the pandemic. I don't know, something. But now, yeah, they killed Ahmaud Arbery in broad daylight.
I saw a video. A guy went for a 3-mile run in a neighborhood that wasn't his. A tall white guy holding a TV under his arm. Neighbors were waving to him. Hey, how you doing? Having a good day?
I love existence.
Also, I know I started talking about the pandemic, but I'm still confused. I asked you guys about it in the group chat the other day. So Twitter has all of a sudden gone from adoring Chrissy Teigen to hating her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still not completely sure why. I don't know if you guys have seen any.
I think just because we're going to eat the rich. I don't, like, honestly, I don't know.
So the stuff that I saw, it was like, I saw tweets, basically digging up old tweets, which is what always happens now. But it was like pretty tone deaf tweets. But
from like 2010.
Yeah, like 2010, like aggressively, I have so much more money than you, like essentially not just tone deaf. Like I don't know specific examples. But I was reading that and thinking like, how many times have people just pulled up the most racist tweets of people from 2010, 2011, 2012, and they're just like, it's fine. It is what it is. We yell about it for a day and then it goes away.
Basically, that's what's happening now, because they'll be mad and then Doja Cat will do coke on Instagram Live and we'll forget about it.
Grayson Allen will say the N-word on a Twitch stream.
Boy, I can't wait.
He's probably saying it right now.
It hasn't already happened.
He's been on Twitch like 30 minutes.
I think the Chrissy thing, it's just like a severe overcorrection for how like beloved she is by that other part of Twitter.
I think like a lot of this is like people on Twitter are so like, not us specifically, but a little bit us, are so mean-spirited that like when we see somebody doing well and like being happy, that we like, they have to have something wrong. It's like, this person cannot be, you know, a good person in entirety. We have to.
I mean, with Chrissy Teigen, it was like always like a veiled thing, because it's like, sure, she's relatable to an extent, but she's also disgustingly rich and is problematic in the ways that being disgustingly rich entails.
Yeah, but it's just like, why do we have to pull up her old tweets on Tuesday?
Listen, we know those all existed. I still can have no idea what prompted people to like dig them up, because like.
Yeah, it's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, people are bad people all the time. There are other things we could do with our day besides pulling up tweets from 2010.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not that hard to find problematic tweets from Chrissy Teigen.
It's not!
Like the last 6 months.
But also, I'm going to be completely honest. If one of the tweets was, she said something like, oh, the dog just shit on the floor. I'm going to leave it there until tomorrow when the maid comes and then pretend to pick it up when she walks in. And like, yeah, that's pretty tone deaf. But also, if I went from being me today to tomorrow having millions of dollars and had a maid to come clean my house, I would be saying way more problematic shit.
They'd have to take, like, Emma would have to come take my phone out of my hand, like Michelle took Barack's phone in that clip. Like,
you can't tweet anymore.
If I won the lottery, yeah, no, you can't have a phone anymore. Like, if I suddenly had half as much money as John and Chrissy, like, I'd be a problem. An absolute problem. So, like, I get it. Like, I don't think we necessarily need to vilify people for these things. We could be like, hey, that's not really cool, and you should treat, like, the people who work for you with respect. But, like, being like, we should take all of your money and your livelihood away from you, seems like a bit of an
on the
overstatement.
Internet? No. No.
Oh, they would never do that, though.
Because, I mean, like, the most recent tweet that I can find about this was from 2011. Like,
that's
we
so
were all
fucking long.
It was
wildly
9 years ago.
problematic 10 to 15 years ago.
Twitter was a very different. I think a lot of people just got on
Oh, yeah.
Twitter in like 2017 because like Twitter was a very different place.
The
back
culture
from
was a very different culture in 2010.
Up until like 2015, 2016, being problematic on Twitter was expected.
Yes.
It was celebrated. Celebrated! We would get on here and just say anything. Literally anything. Like, handicapped people were not off limits. You could say some wild shit about gay people. Like, you could say anything. And it was not only expected, it was
all
celebrated.
It was all
celebrated.
But, I mean, it
And
just,
like,
I don't get
Go
the
ahead.
point of dragging it up, but it's still very funny that people dragged it up and got Chrissy Teigen so mad she went private with 13 million followers.
Going private with 13 million followers is fucking nuts.
insanity.
It's like, Twitter's not that big of a platform. 13 million might be like 50% of daily traffic.
Like, that's a decent chunk of market share. And, like, she gets, I'm not going to say passed around, but her tweets get shared and, you know, retweeted and stuff a lot. And, like, she's kind of built her
Brand.
I'm not gonna
This
say
is what it is.
brand,
It's
you know,
2020.
her-
This is what it is.
I hate it on like being nice to her fans and whatnot, being like, "Hey, I'll give you a pair of John Legend's underwear for some brown bananas." Like, so it's just so odd that Twitter's just like, we have to kill her now. It's like, but like the tweet said, every day somebody on Twitter is the main character, and your job is to not be it.
You always knew that, but never thought about it in those terms. And it's just like, just.
They so eloquently put that with such a fine point on it. They're just like, yeah, you don't want to be number
You don't wanna
one
be number
today.
one ever.
Like
Number
MILFs
2 or
trending
3?
No.
on Mother's Day.
No.
Yes.
Well, that just made sense. Listen, I'm going to keep it 10 G's. If your mom's hot and you just keep posting her on Mother's Day,
I feel like
you might get a retweet.
Some people want to get their moms fucked.
There's definitely a lot of people like, oh, look at my mom. She looks so good at 55. And it's like, if you want to step, just send me the DM. We can make this happen. But like, if that's not what you're saying, stop posting your mom.
That's the thing. Is
bent
like, there's a
over
difference
on
between
the
like,
couch,
oh,
please.
we're
Thank
at
you.
a family dinner, and like, there's plenty of people that look very nice. But like, you're posting videos of just bent over doing some shit. It's like, look, my mom, Mother's Day. It's like, is that really the intention of this post? It doesn't feel like it.
But then again, here might be a link that we just aren't thinking about because we're not disgusting. Some people might just want to fuck their moms. Pornhub has told us people want to fuck their moms.
Did you guys see the video in fucking Clearwater of people doing push-ups on the nasty ass sidewalk to stick it to the libs?
Oh, please open the gyms as part of showing the fact that we can work out without them.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat clip this. I hope those people all get sick and all have to go to the hospital. Just for an I told you so moment. Like, what are we doing? You're protesting something that really in the long term would be good for you if you just stayed your ass inside for a little bit. You know, did some self-reflection, learned about yourself, learned how to be vulnerable. But you're like, no, I need to go to Great Clips and Planet Fitness or I will die.
My
what
biggest
are we doing?
I guess still on the gyms thing, it's that these people just don't have a personality without Instagram videos of the gym. They can only post so many Instagram videos of them in their garage lifting random objects. They can only do it for so long. They're getting tired.
It's like, bro, like, no one cares. Like, no one literally no one cares about your workout. Nobody cares that you're trying to stay healthy. Most of us aren't because, you know, the ending around us.
Well,
what does it fucking
There's a
matter?
difference between trying to stay healthy and garnering support from a following and just posting videos of yourself lifting a chair with books stacked on it as some way to prove to everybody that you're still staying strong as fuck. Like, I get it, you won, you're really strong. Fucking congrats.
Are you gonna be an Olympian? No. Sit your fucking ass down. Like, what? Nobody fucking cares.
Also, I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and they were basically mentioned that like the coronavirus numbers. Two separate people, 2 separate points. One made the point that there's numbers are now that there's been 80,000 deaths. Last year, the flu killed 100,000 people, and it was such a fucking dumb statement. I had no idea what to say, because 2 things come to mind. One, 100,000 people in a year, 80,000 people in 2 months. Let's even say 5 months. Fuck it. Like, still, right? And then on top of that, that's with 2 months.
Too many.
Most of the population staying the fuck away from everyone else.
Indoors.
With everyone else. And then to go off of that, in a separate conversation I was having with someone, they made a comment about how, like, it's just like Florida to always overreact to this stuff. Just like the media and they made us overreact about Dorian. And I was like, what?
Oh, the hurricane.
The Category 5 hurricane? So, because a Category 5 hurricane didn't come and fucking pick my house up off of the ground and dump it somewhere else, I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be mad that it didn't come and kill us, and that we were too prepared and wanted to cover all our bases. Just like us to overreact about something so silly.
That's the thing about, like, all of this precautionary measures, like, idea. It's like, all right, if we do everything precautionarily and, like, we are on top of what needs to be done and the bad thing doesn't happen, we are no worse for wear. We are in a better position than we would have been had literally your house been picked up and carried with you in it somewhere else, like that boy in the balloon. But people are like, I'm mad because they were wrong. And it's like, first of all, the news lies to you every fucking day. And you're just like, no, I'll eat that shit with a spoon. But that time that they're like, hey, maybe you should stay indoors so you don't literally kill everyone in your state. No, that's unacceptable.
Is, let's stay indoors so less people die. And then when less people die, people are like, what the fuck? Why did I stay indoors? People aren't dying.
Coronavirus had really, really bad branding from the beginning. Very bad branding. They should have started with, if you have it, everyone in your state has it, instead of, it's only going to kill your grandma.
They didn't think...
Like, they shouldn't have started there.
It'd only kill your grandma, them saying bet.
Yeah, that was not their best, marketing decision. But also, people... I think Mixtape talked about this. People don't have, like, a sense of scale, so that you're like, one person's a tragedy, 1,000 people
most of the people haven't left their
statistic.
hometown.
Like, also, yes. But think about it. 80,000 people is everyone where we're from.
Yeah.
Like, all of them just dead. So, like, you would think people would be like, hey, maybe that's a lot of people. But every time they're like, no, I gotta be on this boat right now.
It's also
or I will
time
perish.
And time again that people physically don't understand, like, how numbers scale. Like, people don't, and to be fair, like, I'm a similar way. It's very hard to conceptualize, like, a billion, right? It's hard to have an appreciation for the difference between like 1,000 and a billion, because those are just numbers that we say. But, like, when you're talking about, what was it? 50,000 cows. How many fucking cows that guy have?
I think it was 50,000.
When you're talking about cows, it's kind of like funny. When you're talking about dead people, 80 like
so many dead people, they're shoving them in U-Haul trucks
and just leaving them because they can't put them anywhere. Where we have systems where you can put dead bodies, they're just like, we are so overwhelmed, we cannot put this many dead people anywhere.
I've seen some people are like, and like, because I'm very interested in the economic side of it too, mostly because
because that economy is showing it does not matter how many people die, it's still going.
Well, it's a lot of the reasoning for that is like the economy in the U.S. being healthy doesn't necessarily mean that, like, most people in the U.S. are well off. The economy being healthy is, and like that's known, right?
No. it actually means it's actually inverse.
So I've seen a lot of people
like
come
Nexus.
at it from the argument that like we need to like relax on things and get back out because like people need to go back to work and make money. And that's true to an extent because like some people are just like very much struggling right now. But there's one very key piece of information that all those people fail to talk about, and it's the fact that we printed trillions of dollars.
It's been like 10 trillion in the last 3 months that we're just like
trillions of dollars to save
Correct.
the stonks.
Yes. Which aren't all liquid capital or things. They're just evaluations of things that we made
threw $10
up.
trillion into it. That's where the trillions need to go. People need to get out and put themselves and others at risk so they can start working so they can have a livable wage. But when they're inside, we can't help them because we need to put money into, banks. That nondescript bank.
The people who have to go out and work don't make a livable wage. That's the shitty part about all of this. We could just pay those people and then they would buy groceries and all of the normal necessities and things would be fine. But no, we should sacrifice those people for this idea that if you work hard, everything will be fine. Yes.
Yeah.
We've been new. But also, let's...
Nothing's good. There's nowhere good to go. Jackson, why do you want to be a Dolphins fan?
The two teal jerseys are going to be fire as hell.
Basically, that Tua number 1 jersey, real good. And because the Chargers left San Diego, I don't really have a team. And the NFL is not like the NBA where you can just be a fan of a player and basically be set. So the choice is either be a Buccaneers fan, which everything about them.
The Dolphins are a better run organization at the current time, but also I'm gonna kind of be a Tampa Bay fan this year just because they're either gonna be fucking awesome and it's gonna be great, or they're gonna be an absolute dumpster fire and it's gonna be hilarious. And I feel like either way I win. That's true. Yeah.
Assuming we get to play football.
That's true. I assume there'll be NFL games this year. Will anybody be allowed to go?
Did you see the Dolphins actually released
on Tuesdays?
Their plan for phasing fans back into games, and it was like a lot of stuff. And obviously everything looks great on paper, right? But they're like, when you say when you're going to get to the stadium, so you have like an entry time, so not everyone's waiting in line at the same time, and then. There's like stuff like that to mitigate crowds. But the biggest thing was no more waiting in line at concession stands. You order on your phone, you just go pick it up when it's ready. We've had that capability and don't do that already?
Yeah, no.
Why?
Some stadiums have already been doing that. Like in the MLB stadiums, that's been taken off a lot. And college football stadiums.
Seems like a good idea.
We have the technology to make that readily available to every stadium in the country. Why isn't that happening? Those lines are ridiculous. Go to a fucking Jaguars game?
I think a big part of it is that being able to get wireless networks that don't get bogged down to the point of being unusable. When you have between 40 and 100,000 people depending on the sport.
It costs a lot of money to set up those infrastructure.
Yeah. We have the technology to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
no, NFL teams could definitely do it. Colleges would be a different story.
You make the public pay for... Yeah. Yeah, colleges is different, but I'm saying if we started NFL teams...
And if any professional, like NFL, NBA, the money should be there.
Yeah, because
don't want to spend
they don't pay for their stadiums. They make the taxpayers pay for their stadiums. So, the worst you could do is put in internet to help everybody else out.
It's 6:00 and people are still emailing me asking me to do things.
Just a thought.
At my job. Asking to talk on the phone to them.
At your job?
That's terrifying. No, but the nice thing is I can just...
Go home.
No, can we do it tomorrow?
Stay home, but...
All right.
Fine.
It makes future Kevin's life worse, but that's his problem.
Pretty good.
Current.
That's all.
So what's the first sport that's going to, chronologically, what's the first sport that's going to... It would be football, I guess?
Bowling.
Baseball
in July.
is trying to come back.
I mean, UFC just had a fight or a card.
Well, yeah, they're trying.
They had an event.
Yeah, they had a fight with no fans, but they had like commentators. So apparently, like it was one of the women's fights or something. Like they heard Daniel Cormier commentating and say, "Hey, maybe you should mix up your strikes."
Oh, because there's no fucking they can hear everything they're saying. I didn't even think about that. They're just ringside. They're not in the booth somewhere.
Yeah, you're just.
She's looking tired out there. Fuck you.
Just spits on the commentator.
That was a devastating left kick.
Yeah,
Don't tell him.
I saw a report that like DraftKings in the states that sports betting is legal broke every record for betting amounts in a day just for like one fucking UFC card because nobody's been able to bet on shit for months. So everyone was just like betting on whatever they can and whatever amounts they can.
Did you see that the NBA was talking about trying to do the playoffs?
I did see that.
Orlando
So what
and
I
Vegas?
I saw that, and what I heard was that they're planning on doing both Orlando and Vegas for East and West.
Yeah.
But to be fair,
That's
like
fine.
we're not going to be able to go see it anyway. So like,
Yeah, we're just gonna have. They're doing it so they can get TV money, which is fine, I guess.
It is what it is.
But like,
listen, I'm all in. Like sports, bring back sports without fans.
They said
in
that,
my mind, like I get for a lot of organizations, people.
LeBron's winning 4 chips. If they let them play without fans, LeBron is
kind
gonna
of
go
want to see that
insane.
because, like, I talked to Pat about it. It was like when we were watching soccer before, like when we went on the cruise, and things were like, okay, it's getting a little dicey, but nothing like didn't seem too serious yet. They were playing soccer games without fans, and it was super cool because you can hear all of them talking on the field, and like, if you
have to watch.
You can hear people shit talking.
You'd have to watch basketball on HBO. There's no way they could be.
But I'm all fucking for
Oh yeah,
it.
there's gonna be like a 5-minute delay on that.
Big Mello, get the fuck out of here!
Like I want to hear everything. Thank God my
Somebody's in your
office door
house.
doesn't even latch shut. I'll be safe here.
But yes, very safe. But I'd love to see that just for like the entertainment value that we would gain from like hearing the players talk to each other on the court.
Call Carl Anthony Towns a pussy live on television.
Well, good thing the Wolves not a playoff team.
There's would they skip straight to playoffs or would they finish out the regular season?
They canceled the
did?
remainder of the season. Yeah, they did that yesterday. So yeah, they would have to go straight to the playoffs, which is fine. But
that's essentially what the NBA season should be anyway.
65 games.
I was just saying, just the playoffs. As far as intensity goes.
Yeah, that too.
Oh boy.
I think it's curtains for this one.
I think we're good.
Lacey has decided.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in on Twitch. If you are here on Twitch, if you are not, you should be. Every Friday at 5, we do virtual happy hour, and then sometimes we record the podcast, sometimes we don't. Hello, Kayla. This has been
recorded at some point in the week eventually.
Yeah, and we will not give you prior notice because we don't actually know when we're going to do it.
Me and Kevin are going to start streaming our Rocket League on this channel. I've decided.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go do that. I might do some stuff on here. I might cook or something.
Jordan's going to do live porn video reviews. Just honest to God, sitting there, just critiquing things that I'm like, listen, that's going to take off.
I swear to God, I'll do it.
That cocaine wasn't there before.
Jordan's just like, that switch up there was a little messy. Usually,
the choppy cut.
Usually that's a little bit cleaner. He might be off his game today.
She dropped her glasses, but nobody talked about how she didn't pick them up, but now they're back on her face.
She looked at the camera.
She looked right into the cameras. It might happen. Who knows? I might cook. Might not.
All right. We love you guys. Peace.